Hello and welcome to AdaPulse, the community-funded news channel keeping you up to date with all the news and emerging projects that are in and around the Cardano ecosystem. And remember, because we're community-funded, there is no coin shilling or paid promotion. We don't discuss token price. We're just here to break down information and deliver it to you in a way that's easy for you to understand. Because today we've got a great project we're talking about, which is Nebula. Now, it's the open source solution for a more decentralized and interconnected Cardano NFT marketplace ecosystem. And this is an article by Laura, one of the newer writers, been onboarded to the AdaPulse team. Thanks to the community funded we get through Catalyst. And now this article may sound complicated, but I'm going to break it down. Explain like I'm five. I'm going to break it down nice, real nice.
Nice, real nice.
So it's going to be super easy for you to understand. So do remember to click the like button, hit subscribe, and hit that bell button so you can get notified as soon as we've got content available. Now, I'm Josh from ATM Staple, your presenter for AdaPulse for today. Let's just crack straight on with this, shall we? Now, before I start, because this is an Explain Like I'm Five type episode, so I just quickly want to tell you what an NFT is. Now, it stands for non-fungible token. Now, something that's fungible, like a $10 bill, for example, can be easily replaced. I can give someone a $10 bill and someone else can give me one. They're both the same. If you take $10 off me and give me $10 back, it's all the same to me. It doesn't really matter. My children, on the other hand, are non-fungible. You can't just take away my child and give me back a different child. No, my one's unique. And so that's the same with NFTs. You get these tokens that are like money, like ADA or whatever, or it's any of their native assets. But you also get non-fungible ones. So it means they're unique. They're one of a kind. Sometimes it's the same image, just with a different name. It is, but it does still make it unique. Now, what Nebula is doing, as I said in the title, is developing an open source marketplace contract for NFT projects. So what Nebula is trying to do is provide a comprehensive and user-friendly tool for all NFT projects. So what Laura is really asking in this article is, could Cardano's NFT ecosystem become more unified and connected with this project Nebula? What is an NFT marketplace? So an NFT marketplace is essentially a platform, or in your sense, if you're looking at it, a website of some kind, where people buy, sell, and trade NFTs. Yeah, it's simple enough. Now, I gave you a brief rundown on NFT a second ago, but now let's go a little bit deeper into that and find out what NFTs are. Because NFTs are essentially, as we said, they're unique, but these are unique digital assets. And what they're often used for at the moment, at least, is for digital art, music, videos, and then literally any other form of media. Now, each NFT has a kind of a unique digital code that's what makes it different from every other NFT. But it could just be the name even, because you have these things called policy IDs and things like that. And the policy ID is the thing you need to look out for. That's the real thing that says your thing is genuine. Something can have the same name, but if it has a different policy ID, it is a different thing. But, basically they're one-of-a-kind digital assets that can be bought, sold, and traded on these NFT marketplaces. How does an NFT marketplace work? Well, we can break this down in just literally this one image. So, if you want to sell an NFT or create one or whatever, you go to the marketplace and you're probably creating an account and then you upload your NFTs that you want to sell, which is simple enough. And so, and once it's up there, it's on the marketplace. And so other people can take a look at it, make an offer on it, or buy it, essentially. And as you can imagine, like any marketplace in the world, if a buyer and a seller, they agree on a price, the transaction's complete. And the seller receives their money and the buyer receives their NFT. Literally as simple as that. What problems arise with a classical NFT marketplace? Now, classic sort of NFT marketplaces, they're all kind of facing the same problems, all give users the same problems. And Laura's actually broke it down real nice.
Real nice. Nice. Real.
God damn it, stop.
So I'm just going to go through them now. So check this out. So you have high fees. Many NFT marketplaces charge high fees for listing NFTs and completing the transaction, which can make it difficult for artists and creators, to get a fair price for their work. You have centralized control. So most NFT marketplaces are controlled by a centralized entity, and that can limit the ability of creators to control, their own work, and it make it difficult for new marketplaces to enter the space. And then you have lack of interoperability. So NFTs often exist on like different blockchain networks. So you've got Cardano, you've got Ethereum, and that can make it difficult for buyers and sellers to find and trade NFTs that exist on the different networks. And then you've got this complexity. So setting up an NFT marketplace can be, quite a complex process requiring significant technical expertise and resources, which can make it difficult for new marketplaces to then enter the space. Now, invention is born out of necessity. So it's these challenges that I've just mentioned that have led the developers into trying to find new ways and new approaches to building these NFT marketplaces. So that's including like the decentralized protocols like Nebula, and because they plan to provide a more open and accessible and user-friendly environment for the buying and selling and, even just trading of NFTs. What is Nebula? So as I've said a few times already, Nebula is an open source protocol. Now, open source just means it's open, viewable to the public, and other people can contribute to it as well. But this was developed it was the same people behind SpaceBuds, that's Zieg and Alessandro. And it's basically designed to serve as a marketplace for NFT projects that, and offer a flexible and adaptable solution. So the Nebula protocol, it was initially built for actually just for SpaceBuds, but they've since sort of crafted it to be a sort of highly adaptable way to serve a wide range of NFT projects. How does Nebula solve problems of a classical NFT marketplace? Now, Nebula is designed to address some of the challenges associated with the traditional NFT marketplace by offering a more open and decentralized approach. We all love the word decentralized. And so basically, here's a few ways in what Nebula plans to do to solve these problems. Firstly, it's low fees. So Nebula is an open source protocol, which means that there are no centralized intermediaries charging fees for transactions. This can make it more cost effective for artists and creators to sell their NFTs, as they can retain a larger share of the profits. There's decentralized control. Nebula is designed to be a decentralized marketplace. So that means that control is distributed across the network rather than being held by a single entity. So this can give artists and creators more control over their work, as they can sell their NFTs without being subject to rules or policies that you might get from a centralized entity. There's interoperability. Nebula is built on the Cardano blockchain, which is a highly interoperable blockchain that supports cross-chain communication. So this means that NFTs on the Cardano blockchain can be easily traded and transferred across other compatible blockchains, making it easier for buyers and sellers to find and trade NFTs. And then, well, lastly, there's ease of use, which is probably one of the most important parts. Nebula is designed to be user-friendly and very easy to set up, even for those without any sort of technical expertise. The protocol was written in JavaScript, which is probably the most popular programming language, which means that developers can easily integrate it into their projects. The advantages of an open source NFT marketplace. So if you're using Nebula to launch a marketplace, the plan is to provide you complete ownership and control over it. So you're not dependent on any centralized parties or whatever. You're essentially giving you the freedom to manage and operate your marketplace however you like. But on top of that, by launching your marketplace using the Nebula protocol, you become part of a network of interconnected marketplaces. Now, this network of marketplaces are seamlessly integrated and combined to form powerful aggregators. Now, if you don't know what an aggregator is, that's basically something that just displays information. So in this sense, it's giving your marketplace more reach. So Nebula offers many of the same features that you get with a lot of the other marketplaces, but with significantly lower operating costs and more freedom as well, as I mentioned. How Nebula connects the Cardano ecosystem. So as more marketplaces, come up using the Nebula protocol, you end up with this vast network of interconnected marketplaces. Now, as I said a minute ago, these marketplaces, are seamlessly integrated and combined to form like quite powerful aggregators. And so basically an NFT aggregator allows users to browse and discover NFTs for multiple different like marketplaces. Now, these aggregators sort of consolidate the listings of NFTs from the various marketplaces. So essentially it's making it easier for people to find and buy NFTs. So because it's saving them time and effort, because they're not sitting there comparing pricings for the same NFT across different marketplaces, depending on their fees and whatnot. Now, these NFT aggregators can also provide additional services as well. So whether it's like price tracking, portfolio management tools, and also obviously like analytics will probably be a big thing to help users make, kind of more informed decisions about the NFTs that they're buying. But when you list an NFT on your marketplace, it automatically becomes available on all the other marketplaces that aggregate your marketplace. So it's essentially providing greater reach and exposure for your NFTs. The benefits of running an aggregator on Nebula. Now, obviously, the benefit is to make fucking money. But what I hear is running an aggregator isn't actually that hard, and it is quite cost effective. So although it's stated to require minimum management and resources, it does seem that it might take a few people, a small team, to effectively operate one. Now, these aggregators, though, the plus side for the user is that they will all be competing with each other, striving to offer the most competitive fees and costs, because they want to attract customers and the sellers. The future of NFTs on Cardano with Nebula. So with the rise and birth, I guess, of the Nebula protocol, the entire sort of Cardano NFT ecosystem could become connected and like unified together. So making it possible for NFT listings and bids just to be easily accessible across the entire network. So when you list an NFT on your marketplace, like I said a minute ago, it automatically becomes available on the other marketplaces that are aggregate for your marketplace. Now, what this feature does, as I said, it's giving you much greater reach and exposure for the NFTs that are in your marketplace. But it is worth noting, though, that similar functionality does exist in existing marketplaces on Cardano. But the problem is the current process of setting up and connecting these marketplaces is basically it's a bit of an arseache and can be quite time consuming. But with Nebula, on the other hand, it's designed from the ground up just to be, massively easy and flexible. And additionally, on top of that, Nebula is written in JavaScript. So that makes the experience of using the protocol actually pretty convenient and quite developer friendly. Conclusion. Now, Cardano is a decentralized network that has the potential to empower people and creators. So a decentralized marketplace for NFTs built on top of Cardano would help to fully, realize this potential by bringing the power back to the people. And so we're avoiding these single points of failure. Now, this would create a truly decentralized ecosystem where, creators have full control over their own NFTs and marketplaces. And so the community can then flourish without this sort of decentralized interference. But we should point out, my closing point is, remember, Nebula is still in development, but it's slowly taking shape, and it's looking pretty good. And that's all we can say about that. But so that brings me to the end of the article. So do remember the full article can be found on the AdaPulse website, along with a load of other articles that we don't actually have time to make videos for. And do remember to click the like button, hit subscribe, and hit that bell button so you can get notified as soon as we've got content available. And share far and wide. Remember, we're an educational platform, and we only want to reach as many people as possible. Now, I hope this has been super helpful to you. But I'm Josh from ATM Stake Pool, your presenter for AdaPulse for today. I'll see you next time. Thank you.